Namaste, everybody. Welcome once again. Welcome back. And today is a very fascinating lecture that we have, a kind of a master class for us. See, I just wanted to reflect back on what a Vedic astrologer or the Jyotisha does. Many of us believe it's just a mere interpreter of planetary positions. Now, this is little more than that. We always not looking to go to an astrologer because they are torchbearers of our ancient wisdom and they could be steeped in knowledge passed down from many generations. But it is also to revere and respect the interconnectedness that is there in everything, because it is this individual who is able to guide you through your life's challenges. Is also, or she is also, the one who is offering you clarity and foresight. And these are the people who give you, and the forces that shape our life also they interpret for us. But beyond all of this, what I feel is a Vedic astrologer has to be beyond predictions. It is about guiding an individual towards a more harmonious and a balanced existence, is what I feel is their core objective. And that is what brings compassion, empathy, solace during uncertainty, times of uncertainty. So, without going into more distractions, what I want to say is if somebody can be the honeybee of Vedic astrology, who can go to different gardens and then pick the honey and then come and give you the honey, that is one person that I want to introduce is Navneet Chitkara ji. He is somebody who's always I have loved to learn from as well, because he teaches it in a manner which is easy for people to understand and to digest. And that is what we need today, because he is not saying that he has all of this knowledge, but he is ready to learn from books and he wants to go to other people. That is what is the the key trait of a good student, is what I feel. So Navneet ji, it's a pleasure to have you here, and namaste and welcome. And
Namaste.
today, I think Navneet ji is going to talk about a very, very interesting topic about Atmakaraka. I've heard a lot of people talk about Atmakaraka, but the way that today he's going to enlighten you is going to leave you spellbound. And this is going to give you insights, some profound insights in going so deep into this that we think this is only probably one lecture, but I think, as he described before we started recording this, he said probably this can be even a 6-month course as well, because there is a lot to delve into it. So over to you, Navneet ji. Welcome, and it's always a pleasure to have you.
Thank you, sir. It is an honor to be there on your channel and such a beautiful and profound introduction. I feel blessed. And one thing that I've learned from you is the humbleness that you have, and always learning from everywhere. So that is something, and it is your inspiration that keep lot of astrologers grounded and always the students. So this one birth is not enough to learn Jyotish, right? We are humans, we are not rishis or maharishis. We are living in Kali Yuga, so we are bound to make mistakes. But on the same time, if we keep learning, we can recover from those mistakes in our life. So thank you, Dr. Pai, for inviting me and giving me this opportunity, right, to give whatever I have or whatever I have learned, right. And I still would say that you are my nakshatra guru, right. I've learned so many things from you, and I'm indebted to you, sir. All right, so sir, the topic for today is the Atmakaraka. We have a lot of videos. I think on your channel also you have, people coming and speaking on the Atmakaraka itself, the planet with the highest degree, in the natal chart. But on the same time, when I was going through or learning about Atmakaraka, I was a curious student, I had this curiosity that, okay, we have Atmakaraka because of certain, karmas, the pending karmas or the soul desires that we have. But on top of it, who actually decides that? Okay, there's an algorithm of our karmas, but then that algorithm has to be designed by someone. So I wanted to go beyond, you know, that, and then I started researching. And thanks to Shiva Mahapuran, that we've got so much of information about, Atmakaraka and Shiva, being the ultimate source of everything, right? Be it your mind, be it Vishnu, be it Brahma. So I'll not waste the time further. I'll share my presentation with you so that I can just show it on black and white what exactly I mean. And I must say that I won't be able to cover everything, or so many things will be missed. But there are so many things that I've not even written in the presentation, but that I'll be speaking. So, the viewers can make note of those observations and techniques. And also, as I said, there can be a 6 months course on the Atmakaraka, because if you can understand the Atmakaraka, and you can decode what exactly is the Atmakaraka in the horoscope, you can at least know 50% of your past life karmas and the soul desire and what you are here for. So that is what Atmakarak is. And then if you know that, it becomes very easy to maneuver, in this life and do certain karmas so that, you can have better tomorrow. And when I say better tomorrow, it is our karmas that we are, doing. It is not destined. Of course, so many things are destined, but the way we react in a particular situation is never destined, right? So that can only be understood if you have a good Atmakaraka interpretation. So, starting from the beginning, to understand this, right, we first have to understand the model of the creation. You see, sir, everything came from Omkara. Omkara is the unmanifested form right there. It is pure knowledge. It is a form of energy that does not communicate, but it multiplies. Right? That is what exactly is the Omkara. From the Omkara, we had three trinities coming, which is Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesha, which is Om. From the Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, this creation started happening. Started with the division of the sky into rashis through Vishnu. So he was creating sounds in a particular time where the rashis were getting created. If you read Brihat Parashara Hora Shastra, it is there how these rashis, and then the nakshatras are coming from Maheshwara, and then the planetary energies are coming from the Brahma. So once we understand these things, if we apply this principle to Atmakaraka, we understand that the Atmakaraka will purely belong to Shiva. It cannot go to either Brahma. Brahma can be one who could transport your soul, and then Vishnu could be one, who is helping your soul, on daily basis, or preserving your karmas and helping you to move out of, this vicious circle. But on the same time, Shiva is the one, and this Atma Karaka is coming from the Atma Linga of the Shiva. So, we can have a complete lecture on the Atma Linga, but in a very, in a very layman term, I would say it is the soul of the Shiva, right? So every soul is sourced through the soul of the Shiva. And that is why the Naisargika Atmakaraka, Muni Prashara, Muni Jaimini was saying that, the Naisargika Atmakaraka is the Surya, the natural Atmakarika. But the problem is that now when we look at horoscopes, we hardly see Surya as an Atmakaraka. We see a lot of other planets as the Atmakaraka. So what made, you have a particular planet as an Atmakaraka Graha, besides Surya, right? So I wanted to know that. I wanted to know the karma associated, with those planets, and why a particular planet was in a particular nakshatra, in a particular zodiac sign, and aspected by, a particular graha, or exalted, or, debilitated, or astangata. Why? So to understand this, the way we understand the placements of rashis in a horoscope, starting from sun and moon, if we consider fourth house as the sun, and fifth house as the fourth house as a moon, and fifth house as the sun, and then you start looking at the position of the lordships, from sun, the next one is the Mercury, and then the Venus and the Mars, right? And the Jupiter and the Saturn, that placement is basically according to the orbital positions. And that is exactly starting from the moon. It is repeating from the sun, and it is repeating from the moon, and they are placed. That is how the Rashis got lordships, based on the, so, and the same way, when the soul enters, the zodiac belt, or when the soul enters this galaxy, the first graha the soul encounters is the Saturn, right? So, so if we go back from the creation, the first human, right, I'm 100% sure that the first Atma Karaka would be Saturn, because Saturn, if you have as an Atma Karaka Graha, before I take that to and before I take you to the Saturn, I must tell you that why do we have a particular Atma Karaka? See, we have a particular Atma Karaka because we have pending past life karmas, we have unsettled deeds, we have, learning of the soul, we have journey of your soul, and your previous births, your desires, will decide your Atma Karaka through Shiva. Because until Shiva doesn't, permits a particular nakshatra or a graha or a zodiac sign, or the placement of your Atma Karaka, it is not going to happen. So, these factors will decide everything, and we'll try to decode that why you have Saturn as an Atma Karaka, what is the message that you have, and we'll do it for all the grahas, right? And what are the actions, what are the karmas you should be doing. And in the end of the presentation, I'll be telling you certain remedies, generic remedies for the Atma Karakas, and they are very, very effective remedies. So let's elaborate. So let me start with the first planet in the outer orbit, which is Saturn. So if you have Saturn as an Atma Karaka, the one thing that you have to do in this life is you have to really work hard selflessly, right? Now, when you work hard selflessly for unknown people, for the people you don't even know, right? Either you have to be a social worker, or you have to be in the politics, or you have to have the highest position in the country, where you are, working hard, you're making reforms, but then you're making reforms for so many people who just belong to you for the sake of the country. You don't deal with them directly, right? So Atma Karak Saturn means in your previous birth or in your prarabdha, the hard work, long working hours, and ability to work selflessly was missing, right? Now, if that was missing, soul is coming from Shiva, the Atma Linga of Shiva. So soul will have that desire to fulfill that void. And soul says, okay, let me get all the karma, all the energy, give a message in a Jataka that, look, the Saturn is the Atma Karaka. You will be forced to work hard in life. You might have to work 18 hours, 20 hours a day, right? And still people may not be very satisfied. Still people may be against you, and that will give you a lot of pain and harassment. in my previous videos on my channel, sir, I have clearly represented that Atmakaraka, if we take it little less positive, it is complete pain. It is harassment because it is giving you that push all the time through the Amatya Karaka, of course, but then it is giving you a lot of harassment, lot of pain. So here, you know, I'll give you an example of our honorable Prime Minister of the country right now, Narendra Modi ji. Look, he has Saturn as an Atma Karaka. And he was also born in the Hora of Saturn. So Hora is also holding that, energy, that giving him lot of energy to work hard selflessly. You see, sir, Saturn, when Atma Karaka, Saturn is like a servant. Saturn is that underprivileged person who is ready to work on the roads, within your kitchen, within the housekeeping department, everywhere. And he's also underprivileged at time. He's working for two levels. One, he's working for his poor family. Second, he's working for the elite class. He's working because if you take a housekeeping person, he is working for the elite class. He's cleaning things for VVIPs. Similarly, if you are a prime minister of a country, don't think that you are a king, right? You are working all the time for that 99% people who are living, below that 1% level, and you're also working for that 1% elite class of the world, where you're helping them to develop businesses and startups and everything. So this is Saturn. And I was looking at one of the interviews, one of the comments of Modi ji's visit, where people were asking him, Modi ji, how are you working for 20 hours a day? What makes you work 18 hours a day? Right? It is the Saturn Atmakaraka. And there is an aspect of Jupiter on the Saturn Atmakaraka, which makes him very spiritual and a saintly figure as well. What he's doing is that, he's going to, various Jyotirlingas, he's going to Kedarnath, doing meditation and doing whatever he can, whatever is, is Jupiter is giving him. So that is just one aspect. Although, he's also sitting with, his Amatya Karaka, which is friendly with him. Although the sign in which both of them are sitting is not friendly. But on the same time, he has support of his vice president, his team, which is Venus Amatya Karaka, and the panel of people around him, they are devoted to him. If you got 14, 15 people around him, and in the Gemini, when the Atma Karaka and Amatya Karaka are sitting together, it is one kind of a Raj Yoga as well. Right. So, so the minister and the vice president, the Atma Karaka king, they are together, they're closely associated. Right. So this is one example. If you people have Saturn as a Atma Karaka Graha, be ready to work hard in this life. Until you don't work hard in your life, until you don't work 16, 18, 20 hours a day, you are not going to reach, even if your Saturn is exalted. See, exaltation means that you're a little more aware of what you're supposed to do. But it doesn't mean that, you are a winner and you're going to achieve and enjoy everything. It is not like that. It is never like that. Right? So this is what Saturn Atma Karak is. So soul has entered the orbit and started to learn working hard in life, right? To work selflessly, right? And then you move on to Brihaspati. Once you've learned how to work hard, but you forget how to justify certain things in life, right? Jupiter, for me, beside dharma, beside being a guru, beside being the most auspicious planet, right? It is also a graha of protocols. It is the graha of dharma. It is the graha of justice. I think during my consultations, so I have seen so many, police commissioners or, defense officers, the brigadiers or the, defense services, the people at the highest level in the defense services. What are these people doing? These people are always around a uniform. They're around a, a very, very justified, environment. But on the same time, since Jupiter is their Atmakaraka, they will also face many unjustified situations in life. Right? You will always feel कि मेरे साथ अच्छा नहीं हुआ. You will always feel that you deserve better, you deserve more. ये इंसाफ नहीं है. This is one thing that I've heard from people who have Jupiter, as their Atma Karaka. Now, why, you're getting these situations? Because you did not learn to justify, in the previous birth. So in this birth, what happens is when you get many such situations that are not justified, you start learning that what is the justice. So you start learning what is law. So suppose if you are, conned by someone, the first thing that you will do is you'll Google search that what is the law that can punish that person. Right? You'll try to understand that law. Right? So Jupiter Atma Karaka, you will understand law. You will study law. Right? And you will tell people, you will tell your team, you will teach people, you will mentor people, you will tell people what is a guru doing. Guru is telling you about your dharma. What is a dharma? For me, dharma is one single word, which is the protocol. So if I am a Muslim, I'm following the protocols of being a Muslim. If I'm a Hindu, right, I'm just abiding to the protocols of being a Hindu. Right? If I'm a Christian, so I'm abiding to the protocols of being a Christian. That is the dharma, right? That is the teaching. That is what Jupiter is doing. So if you have Jupiter as an Atma Karaka, you can work. So this is the horoscope of one of the police commissioners, right? I've kept the name and the birth details, as a previously. So look at Jupiter in the Lagna as an Atma Karaka, again born in the hora of Jupiter. And Jupiter is also the 9th lord, the 12th lord, and it is retrograde in the Kritika Nakshatra. Again, it's a very, very fierce. Cut off things, isko saja karo, isko khatam karo. Finish it off today itself. Get the results today itself. Right? And trying to purify things around, trying to be, but on the same time, when you are, especially in India, you are in such positions, you also have desires like Agni Devta, you need this also, that also. And then, you get so many situations where if you are trying to help one party, the other party will blame you that you have not done justice with us, right? So that is what Jupiter Atma Karaka is going to face. Jupiter Atma Karaka is going to teach people, tell people about the rule, the sections, the protocols, but still, people will be unsatisfied, but still under that, or in that circumstance, or those circumstances, or in that environment, you still have to learn law. You still have to learn the dharma. So that is what Jupiter is saying. But then, as I said, it's a 6 months, thing that we can design, that why it is retrograde, what did you do? So you were in the previous birth, you were trying to enforce law a little bit, but then you got over aggressive. You got so proud of your hard work, and then that got retrograde. So now it is going to slow down things. It is going to teach you a lesson and also give you an urge to perform. But even if you're working so hard, even if you have that urge to do something great, but then something will always be pulling you back. Something will always be stopping you. And then you have that urge. So when you have urge to go ahead and something is pulling you back, that is painful. That is extremely painful. So having Atma Karaka, retrograde, exalted, debilitated in the friendly sign, it has a lot of meanings to it. And especially 8 and 12 from the Atma Karaka, it has its own meaning. I've learned, thing from one of my fellow colleagues. He said that, look, if you have your Atma Karaka in the Navamsha, in the 6, 8, and 12, and it is sitting alone, when you are about to die, you will be alone. Or either you will be sleeping. No one will be aware that you've gone, you've left the body. And when I saw this in my brother's chart, he left his body when he was sleeping, right? Nobody knew. We knew only after he was gone. So at the time of death, he was alone, right? So it was midnight and people were sleeping and we have no idea what happened, right? So if you have that Atmakaraka in the Navamsha in 6, 8, and 12 and sitting alone, right? Strong chances, so many such combinations are there that we can learn over the period of time. So next planet. So you've seen the hard work, you've learned how to justify things, you've learned dharma, but then what did you forget? Even after working hard, even after you've learned the dharma, you still were not able to protect people. You could not have patience to accept certain things in life. So now you'll have Mars as an Atmakaraka Graha. See, if you can utilize Mars as an Atmakaraka Graha, you can be an asset to your nation. You can be an asset to your motherland, right? If you have Mars as an Atmakaraka, you are going to protect the businesses of lot of people, right? You can do something where बहुत से लोगों के घर चलेंगे. Lot of people will earn because of you. You will set up lot of businesses for the others, or you will become an opportunity for others to earn. And when you get you are an opportunity for others to earn, you are protecting their livelihood. You are protecting their families in a way where because of you they are earning money, because of you they are earning prosperity. And the another thing about Atmakaraka is that for a small pain you used to howl and shout in the previous life. So in this life, if Mars is an Atmakaraka, you can even get your stitches done without the anesthesia. I've seen such horoscope. A child of 10-year-old, my sister, she has 10-year-old boy, and he got hurt and he got stitches without the anesthesia. I said, oh my god, and looked at the chart. Mars is an Atmakaraka, and I have the chart of the legend Sachin Tendulkar. You'll see so many sports person having Mars as an Atmakaraka. Look, Mars Atmakaraka, 6th house exalted. Now what is this Mars doing? It is giving him ability to take so much pain. There are videos where he's a 16-year-old boy hit by Vakar Yunus right on the nose, and then the Muhammad Azruddin, or I don't know who was the captain, he just went, are you okay? And he's saying, "Main khelega," right? So "Main khelega" means he's not accepting the pain, right? Even if his nose is bleeding and we have that Pakistani bowling attack, which is furious, and still he played and he showed. This is Mars Atmakaraka. So ladies and gentlemen, if you have Mars Atmakaraka, learn to bear pain. Learn to become protective and bring the brand ambassador. For how many people he's the source of money. He's been a brand ambassador for so many things. The people are coming to watch the cricket match. The BCCI is earning. The international ICI is earning. So many organizations are earning because of such players. So they are protecting the livelihood of many cricket associations, right? As a lot of people who are associated with him. So that is what Mars, it is not that it will make you a super brave. It will make you brave so that you can take the pain. You can stand on the pitch for 8 hours, score 400, 500 runs. You are not bothered about your legs paining or your lower back paining, right? And next very day, you're ready for the show again. That's what Mars Atmakaraka is. But then, you have to stand up. Even if you lose or win, you should be a fearless person. That is the sole desire of your soul, right? That, hey, look, take pains. And such people, if they take pain and they still stand high, that is when they become most successful in their life. So now, from the outer orbit, what have we learned? We've learned hard work, we've learned dharma, and we've learned patience and acceptance of the pain. Now, if you've learned all these things, but what were you missing when you enter the inner orbit? You missed, nourishment. You missed emotions. So if you have moon as an Atmakaraka. So you worked hard, you justified things, you protected so many, but did not nourish selflessly. The mother is one who will nourish people selflessly. You will give away everything, right, without expecting anything back. You will have to, gather, such karmas in your life, because in the previous birth, you have gathered so much emotionless karmas. You were working hard, you were practical, but now soul says that, hey, Shiva says to the soul, please go and learn nourishment, go and learn emotions. But those emotions should be, very, very productive. And if you have Jupiter aspect, or these emotions are in the fifth house or in the ninth house as an Atma Karaka, it can make you a person like Srila Prabhupada. You see, moon as an Atma Karaka in the Mrigasira in the fifth house. You see, how much has he done? As see, so the avatar Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he gave the message of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. It was until Srila Prabhupada who nourished the entire world with this mantra, right? He did it selflessly. What was he was getting, multiple heart attacks from his journey to India to New York, right? But still selflessly he's making gulab jamuns and sweets and giving to hippies, and telling them to sing Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. That is the kind of spiritual nourishment which has no comparison. It has no comparison at all. So this is what Chandra, but then he was in pain. It was harassment for him. He had all sort of challenges. He had challenges of his health and everything. But this is the true meaning of the Chandra, as the Atma Karaka. So till now, the soul has learned hard work, dharma, protection, nourishment, and then, from Mars, it reaches the Shukra as an Atma Karaka. What did you miss? You missed devotion, right? So now you expect a lot of devotions. So if you have Venus as an Atma Karaka, in the early years of your life, you will learn devotion, right? When you learn devotion, you expect so much of devotion, especially from the opposite partner. And that is the reason, with Venus Atma Karaka, I have seen people having so many relationships and so many breakups or bad breakups because they were expecting, that devotion that they have given to him or her. So if they were devotee, the expectation was the same kind of devotion, and they never got it as Venus as an Atmakarika, because Shiva want them to learn that devotion can only be one-sided, right? It is not two-sided thing, right? The second, what if you are devotee of something, if you're devotee of Shiva, right? So Shiva will be in promise to you, right? He will abide by you. It is not necessarily that Shiva will be devoted to you, right? So devotion, Shukra devotion, is a painful marriage. It's a painful relationship, even after marriage. So many expectations are there. But on the same time, to staying in a relationship is a challenge. And that can only happen, with the willpower. If you have strong willpower, if you become avid devotee of Shiva or Vishnu or Krishna, right, you will learn devotion. You can divide your devotion, right? Otherwise, if you have that expectation of devotion from the opposite partner, or if you have that expectation of luxury from this world, Venus Atma Karaka will give you pain, because Venus has this expectation, right? So I have seen Venus Atma Kara in the Saptam Bhava, seventh house, Venus Atma Karaka in the fifth house. The expectation was so high from the marriage that you loved someone truly, and that person dissed you. That person did not love you truly, and then you move on to another relationship, trying to find the same kind of a person, and you never got it. You never got married, or the marriage got so delayed, in the life. So this is the story of the Shukra as an Atmakaraka. You are a talented person. You are working hard. You know how to protect people. You know what is dharma. You nourish people. You nourish people from bottom of your heart. But then you will get pain from where you require nourishment. जहां से आपको nourishment चाहिए, वहां से दुख मिलता है. And I've seen these people settling down, especially after the age of 36, once the first yogini dasha circle is over. So then, they start getting some sort of, relaxation or relief. So look at Hitler. Hitler, Atmakaraka, Shukra in the Saptam Bhava. Right. So, there's nothing I should say about him when it comes to the personal life. So we have read all, we've seen all. So once hurt forever, and that pain, he just transferred to the entire world. So this is where he's done wrong, right? Where if there was a pain, right, and if you can, the other way of handling Shukra as an Atmakaraka is that if you have pain, you are the one who could understand the pain of others and help people to come out of that pain, right? That is the beauty of a person having Venus as an Atmakaraka. He will understand the pain of someone and he will try his level best. That is the positive way. That is what Shiva expects out of you, not what Hitler did. That was not expected out of him, being Venus as the Atmakaraka. Now you have Mercury as an Atmakaraka. From the Saturn, you worked hard. From the Jupiter, you've learned protocols, dharma. From Mars, you learned protection. From Moon, you learned nourishment. From Venus, you learned devotion. But you lacked in communication. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have Mercury as an Atmakaraka, watch your tongue, right? You will speak in a way that can hurt others. You will get into such conversations which can even give you setbacks in life. I have seen more than 70% of the divorce cases where I saw, they were having problems, right? Or they were getting divorced. I had Mercury as the Atmakaraka Graha. So they will blame others for everything, but they will forget that it was their communication, that brought them, to that level. So being, Mercury as an Atmakaraka, you will have certain qualities, you will learn many languages, right? You have tendency to read books, right? You read a lot, you write a lot. You can be, you can change rapidly, you can change your communication, your thought process, rapidly. You can even be a very good listeners, you can, mediate in the things, but on the same time, right, you will always settle your karmas in the harder way, because Mercury is one planet which we are using 24/7. That calculation is happening all the time, that communication is happening all the time. So better watch, your communication. I have this chart, of a female, right? And again, I've kept the details private. Look, Mercury as an Atmakaraka. She's a wonderful human being, right? And she's doctor by profession, right? Chandra in the Shatabisha. She's absolutely beautiful, but on the same time, Mercury Atmakaraka, only the communication. Within a minute, they will start getting into an argument. They'll, say certain things in a way that would hurt or that will completely taunt someone, So that is where you got to be careful. Or even if they are saying right things, they are saying absolutely right things, but the way they are saying right things is wrong, right? And what will people do? People will forget about what right they were saying. They will only pick up how they were saying. Right. So that is where, Mercury Atmakaraka takes the hit. And that is where, just because of communication between your siblings, between your, spouse, between the colleagues around, you are suffering. Right. That is what Shiva wanted you to learn, that improve. I'm giving you opportunity to read. I'm giving you liking to write. Right. If you have frustration, write it down. Don't say anything. right? I'm giving you, opportunity. I'm giving you buddhi, that you read so that you can learn good things. You'll be more interested in reading than others, right? I'm giving you that quality. But then if still you don't learn to speak properly, it is going to be a pain whole life. It is going to be a tragedy. And if it is retrograde, or it is astangata, or if it is debilitated, it is a further pain. It is a further pain, right? And in the end, you get sun as an Atmakaraka. You will have to work hard in life. You'll have to burn yourself. Every single person in the office, within the family, right? Or, anyone around you will come for any sort of help, that look, we need you, right? You'll have to protect everyone. You'll have to justify people. You'll have to work hard for them, right? You'll have to nourish them. You have to be devoted to them. And on the same time, you also have to communicate very well with them, with lot of patience. All the Atmakaraka traits. Now you are in the center. Everyone around you is looking at you and expecting from you, which makes you really work hard. But then Atmakaraka Sun, these people only crave for one single thing, which is independence. They would need that one, independent. They want to be independent. And just because they want to be independent, they will serve everyone around them. They really, really have to work hard 24/7, 365 days, in their life. And that is what happened to me in my life, Dr. Pai. I got my son as an Atmakaraka in the third house, right? And it is in the house of communication. It is my fifth lord going in the third house, right? So all the time from morning to evening, it is where I have to communicate, and people coming from for help and support, from small nourishments to, their devotion, their questions for, how can they become a devotee, or how they can nourish themselves and others. So this is how my entire day and my entire life goes. But on the same time, if you attach your work with spirituality, then the Surya Atmakaraka works the best. So Surya Atmakaraka, you need to enhance your Jupiter. If you do not enhance your Jupiter, being the Surya as an Atmakaraka, that Surya Atmakaraka is not going to perform, right? In the last Rahu Ketu, see, personally speaking, Rahu, I don't consider as Atmakaraka, right? Why? Because individually, Rahu does not has capability, to perform as an Atmakaraka. You see, I would also want you to speak in the end little bit on, Rahu as an Atmakaraka, but on the same time, sir, Rahu will only give you results of an Atmakaraka through either his dispositor, or the planetary association of the nakshatra, right? That which planet is associated with the nakshatra in which we have Rahu, or the aspect on the Rahu. Rahu individually does not have the capability to perform like an Atmakaraka graha. It is always dependent on a certain planet. So if you are believer of a Rahu as an Atmakaraka, I bow down. I have no conflicts with that. But personally, with my experience of, looking at various horoscopes, Rahu as an Atmakaraka has always given results through a Graha, not by himself. Right? He wants a platform, right? He wants a body through which he can give the results, not by himself. Right? And I've seen in many cases that Rahu is giving results of the Amatya Karaka, or through the Amatya Karaka, the planet with the second highest degree. And in the end, I would give you some generic remedies for the Atmakaraka. The first remedy is that one should visit his or her Jyotirlinga every year on the Tithi Parvesh of the birthday. when you have that nakshatra, the placement of the sun, that is the time when you should visit your Jyotirlinga and do a Abhishekam, on the Shivaling, on the Jyotirlinga. That is one remedy that will keep your Atma Karaka in the positive energy for complete one. The second one is to read or listen to Gopal Sahasranama on every Sankranti day. When, the natural Naisargika Surya, is just entering the another zodiac sign, one must listen to or recite the Gopal Sahasranama. It has given miraculous results. Reading Shiva Mahapuran is the third remedy. And last, the most powerful remedy of the Kali Yuga is to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So if you do these 3-4 activities, see, the Gopal Sahasranama is only on the Sankranti. Shiva Mahapuran can be your ritual, right? Hare Krishna Mahamantra should be your sole purpose. And visiting Jyotirlinga on the Tithi Pravesha, right, is going to be one thing that you should celebrate, every year, as a part of your birthday, right? So this, Dr. Pai, is what I, wanted to, share with your viewers.
Yeah, Navneet, I think this was one of the first and the greatest lesson that I've sat for Atmakaraka, because you have so logically explained this. And, I wanted to also share some of my own viewpoints on Atmakaraka. And this reminds me of the time that I started. I went for a 3-day workshop that was done by Ken Rao Saab on Gemini in Mumbai, maybe 7 years ago or more. Yeah, 7 or 8 years ago from now. And I very clearly remember, students in the workshop asking Rao Saab, why does he take the 7 Charakaraka system instead of the 8 Charakaraka systems? He says, look, I've studied the system, I've read a lot of books, and that was his opinion. His opinion was Rahu doesn't have a body of its own, and it is just a mathematical point. And again, if there is any in my understanding, whatever he was trying to interpret, that is my understanding. He might have said it differently, but what he said is it's a Rakshasa.
Yeah.
So a Rakshasa cannot Asur. He's an Asur. So he cannot be as an Asura, he cannot be an Atmakaraka, because Atma is held by light makers and not by Asuric grahas.
Yeah.
So Rahu and Ketu, he says they cannot take. So there are Jaimini Rishi in Jaimini Sutras. He talks about 8 Charakaraka system. But as per Ken Rao Saab, he takes the 7 Charakaraka systems. Ketu has never been taken in any system as an Atmakaraka. Now, so that was his way of interpreting it. He said, you want light makers to be holders of your Atmakaraka, and you cannot have Rahu to be an Atmakaraka. Whereas if you go to a different parampara, which is, Pandit Sanjay Rath's parampara, they talk about the 8 Charakaraka system. So I think everybody should study both the systems. I'm not trying to say that because I've learned from Ken Rao Saab, I take the 7 Charakaraka system. But I agree with you that if Rahu is the holder, then you have to say it's like a chameleon. It can only take the light of another light maker than its own light. So this is what my opinion is. I don't know, how you, in your own practice, what
I completely take, sir. I consider Rahu as an Atmakaraka, but through, a platform, through a planet.
Yes.
If I try to understand Rahu based on, its own position and way it is placed, just solo Rahu, no. Then I will always take it through a platform that, okay, Rahu is the Atmakaraka. Yes, we can consider. The next thing I look at, where is the Amatya Karaka? What is the Amatya Karaka doing?
Yeah.
Right? How it's supporting Rahu to, manifest things in the life. So that is how I take it, sir.
No, that's very fascinating that you brought that point, which is I think everybody will appreciate. Even though we can say you can start practicing with both the system and see how it operates, because everything depends on your practice and how you have understood the system. And one more thing, what I want to say is when it comes to Atmakaraka, you rightfully said it is. It is Shiva, and especially I would put it as the Ishana. Ishana is the northeast direction. That is where your spiritual Atmakaraka lies, and east direction, which is the Sthira Atmakaraka, which is Surya, is in the east direction. So that will give you the inspiration for you to do and channelize your Atmakaraka, whatever you have. So inspiration is always whenever we get up, we have to look at the eastern direction and go down to the Sthira Atmakaraka. Sthira means it's a fixed Atmakaraka. Then we have Chara Atmakaraka, where every individual, like you explained, can have a different flavor based on the Chara concepts. Yes. So Surya, but eventually, the Pratyadi Devata of Surya is Shiva. So he's the ultimate, goal that we want to manifest and we want to move towards. So if you really think that ultimately this Atma is going to merge with the Paramatma, which is the ultimate ocean. So every river that flows has only one, destination or one, goal where it wants to reach is the oceans. Yeah. Every river in the world has no other option, but they have to flow. But how you flow? You can flow to different valleys, from different mountains and different beautiful scenic places. And finally, we all have to go, and that is our final, destination. But how we take this journey is what the Atmakaraka is going to be the guide, is how your river is flowing in this lifetime. Yeah. Because the ultimate source is Shiva, the Jyotirlinga. That is what is the guiding force, the guiding light for us, which is the inner light which is there within us. And that's why I feel, Navneet ji, you beautifully said about, seeking guidance when your Tithi Pravesh is happening from your Jyotirlinga, which is associated with your Atmakaraka, and also reading the Shiva Mahapuran, because this is making you more aware of your spiritual aspirations and goals. So I feel if everybody who has the thing to look towards the east and northeast is for more spiritual, and for more dharma that you want to inculcate, east is the direction. And of course, whatever your Atmakaraka is based on the directions you can face, and you can, go down at least once a day towards that direction. Like if it is Saturn, then the west direction. If it is, moon, it is northwest direction, Mercury in the north. So you can probably, because that is where your inspiration Lord is sitting, Navagraha who is sitting. Yes. So yeah, I think this is a very enlightening and exhilarating experience and inspiring discussion that we have had. You wanted to say something? You wanted to add something on top of this?
I would just say that you've summarized it so well, so beautifully. And I was just visualizing when you said that, that journey has to go through various mountains and valleys, and I was imagining the life. And I think the viewers will learn a lot from today's session. And it is just a beginning, because we have so many other things to discuss, But I think I thank you from bottom of my heart, sir. So thank you so much.
No, I have to thank you for having coming and graced my esteemed channel. Thank you very much. This is my honor as well to have you here, Navneet ji. Thank you for being here. Namaskar.
Thank you.